Welcome to another episode of the Rankin Podcast. Appreciate you making us a part of your day, however it is, wherever it is you're doing so. I'm Garrett Seawright. You can find me on Twitter at Garrett Seawright. You can find a podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Rankin Podcast. Joined as always with my good friend Don Garwood.
I don't know anything. That's how that goes, right?
I'm not sure.
You know nothing.
Oh,
John.
I drink and I know things.
Oh, I do that too. You can find me at Donnie_G on Twitter.
And on Twitch. You want to watch Don stream
Twitch when I
Stardew Valley?
I have played that.
That is a game I
maybe
played.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Hey, you know, I how many Twitch streamers are streaming Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Probably 5.
Yeah, you could have that market cornered. All
With
right,
all 3 people who want to watch it.
yeah. Producer Ashley's just sitting there like, man, Don is good at building steel mini rail roller coasters. Yeah, he is.
Fun fact, I'm probably not. I've literally never played it.
It's a good time. You would enjoy if it was 2001. But
Yeah, I play Oregon Trail.
you can get a little dysentery in you.
A little more.
All right. So we're off to a smashing success here.
Yep.
So you've got eyes. You can read, I assume.
If not, how did you come across this?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. Don's asking the pressing questions here. We're going to rank our favorite Game of Thrones characters, and
Our least favorite Game of Thrones characters.
which might be the more fun part of the episode. I'm told we're at our best when we're filled with hate.
I'm always
I was going to say, which is a lot of the time. So, we were both fans of 6 of the 8 seasons.
I was a fan of
I was a fan of 6 of 8.
6.5,
Yeah,
7. But yeah, not 8.
not 8.
Not 8 seasons.
And not 8 complete seasons or not season 8?
There was some, not 8 complete seasons. There was an okay episode. There was some okay scenes in the 8th season that you're like, hey, this could turn out okay.
There's still hope, and then there.
But
was
the
not.
issue is that all those good scenes were in the first couple episodes and not, not in the end.
No.
Who knows better than Bran the Broken? Literally everybody.
pretty much everybody.
See, I think the issue is, and I don't remember if I told you this or not, they were just too cheap to build a new throne for the new king. So they're just like, this guy has his own chair. We'll just let him be king.
That's disgusting.
Disgusting?
Disgusting. I hate it.
Yeah. You know what I hate?
What do you hate, Don?
That dragon was like, this chair is the problem, and then melted it. And then left Jon Snow there, who just murdered its mom in front of it.
Right.
Spoiler alerts this episode.
Spoiler alert, season 8. I'm pretty sure the only words Jon Snow speaks the entire season is,
I don't want it.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
You're my queen.
You are my queen. I don't want it. If I could have... If I knew that I grew my hair out and it looked as good as Kit Harington's did as Jon Snow, I'd do it in a second.
Yeah. But it won't.
It won't.
And it's probably not just the hair. It's probably some other, like...
So if I could grow my hair out and lose 250 pounds, I would look okay.
Let's make that a goal. Stretch goal. Couple 5-star likes and we'll
A couple 5-star reviews. Garrett will lose 250 pounds and make
grow his hair out.
Grow his hair out to look like Jon Snow. What's the worst that could happen?
Hey, speaking of Jon Snow,
Yeah.
and what I don't know, who's your number 3 favorite character?
My number 3.
Or do we do hated characters? That way,
we do
favorite, because that way our most hated is last.
Yeah.
Who's your number?
We're going
3?
top and bottom is how I put him on my number 3. I actually kind of like Tywin Lannister.
Okay.
Because he never waffles.
Right.
There's not a lot of fluctuation in, like, what you get with Tywin Lannister is what you're going to expect from Tywin Lannister. And I appreciate that's about him. He's always going to be kind of a jerk. Like, he's ambitious.
Yep.
But he's always going to be exactly what you expect from this cold, crass, crusty old curmudgeon.
he didn't necessarily play a lot of games behind the scenes.
No.
He was pretty straightforward. He was fairly... So when Arya was in that camp that he was, like, overseeing, he was fairly nice to her. When,
he was nice enough.
He knew who she was. Like, because she was because she could read, she was like, oh, you'll be my chamber boy. And, like, was nice enough, yeah.
Right. He wasn't overly a jerk.
He's a dick to his own son.
Right, but, I mean, look at him.
Right. Well, looking at him in the show is much better than looking at him in the books. Like, he's supposed to be just like super disformed, the sins of all your past are catching up with you and you're staring at him in the face.
Right. You gotta look at it. But I like Tywin Lannister, actually, so.
Okay.
I appreciate him for what he is.
Which is a cold
son
of a bitch.
Right. He didn't really. You're right, though. He didn't really play games. He's just like, hey, this is how it's going to go. And there's not a lot of behind the scenes maneuvering and things like that. It's like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to have to kill them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And he's pretty transparent about that.
And then he got killed on the pot
with the crossbow.
Yep.
Of the ways to go, dropping a duke is
certainly one of
right.
them.
Is how I'd like to go. I'd like to be shot in the chest with a crossbow while dropping a duke. That's how I want.
We can make this happen. So my number 3 most liked character is Lyanna Mormont.
I've got Lyanna Mormont in my honorable mention.
Yeah.
I was scrolling through IMDb before just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Mm-hmm. She's only in 9 episodes, and I don't care. She's great.
She's really good in every scene of those 9 episodes.
Yes.
So those of you who don't know, she is essentially the little girl in like season 6, 7, 8 that because her family was essentially all killed, she is now the head of the house at like 8 or 9 years old. And she has like 6 people fighting for her, and she was the first person to like pledge to Jon Snow to be King of the North.
Yes, sir.
And she
didn't think about it long.
No.
And she made the correct choice. She's a badass.
She's a badass. Absolutely.
A certified badass.
Sent Stannis Baratheon a message that Bear Island knows no king but the king in the north, whose name is Stark.
Badass.
Yeah.
Badass.
Imagine getting that letter from an 8-year-old. Right. It's like, we outnumber them 20-1.
Well, the only king.
She doesn't give a shit.
Right? The only king we know is the king of the north. Bam. Done. I can get on board with that very easily.
And she never... I think that this is... Oh, she died. Night King.
Yeah.
Forgot about that because I haven't watched it more than once.
Thanks, D&D.
The only season I haven't watched more than once.
The Night King's in like 5 episodes total.
Yeah, but that's kind of adds to his mysterious. Just like in Jaws, you only see the shark
for like 6 minutes or something.
Yeah, and most of that's in the very last scene. But it builds to the tension of it, just like you don't see the Night King, but he's an overarching figure the whole time.
It's stupid.
It isn't stupid. The way that it ended was stupid.
Could be.
This is all season 8 hate coming out.
It's all going to come out. Actually, I've got some. I don't know specifically what season this is. My third most hated character is Yara Greyjoy.
Okay.
And almost exclusively for the fact that you're going to knowingly, you're going to knowingly let your brother finger you on a horse, knowing that that's your brother.
Yeah.
Just to later be like, by the way, good to see you, bro. That ain't right. Even in this entirely messed up, incestuous universe. No. That's not fair. Like, Jaime and Cersei Lannister know that they're brother and sister, and they're like, okay, fine, whatever. Theon Greyjoy doesn't know that that's his sister.
Right, he's just
like
blasting the first chick that comes along.
Right. He thinks he's just, so awesome. He's got gooey in their britches, and she's going along with it just so later she can be like, hey, good to meet you. full brother. So she's Gary Busey. She is overly hostile in situations that don't call for it. She's just always so intense. And you're like, calm down. So I don't like Yara Greyjoy.
Okay. My number 3 may shock you. It shouldn't. Like once you,
it shouldn't, but it may.
When I say this name, you'll think, "Oh, yeah," and then I'll be like, "I hate him," and you'll be like, "I also hate him." Does not have a last name.
Ooh.
Even on like Wikipedia, no last name. First name only, Ollie.
Okay.
It's the little boy that Jon Snow saved from the wildling adventure in season 4. Invasion in season 4. Who then they're just like, hey, your parents are dead. Guess you're part of the Night's Watch now. Who,
and that son of a bitch.
First of all, kills Ygritte with an arrow. Ygritte. Yeah, I couldn't remember how it was pronounced.
It's been a while.
Kills her with an arrow, and then like has the gall to like give Jon Snow a thumbs up or whatever he does. They just cut to him looking super proud.
I did it.
Which I get it. She killed your parents. You killed her.
Right. But
then he betrays Jon Snow.
Yes.
And like is part of the people stabbing
and
him
is happy about it.
Yeah.
Like he's like, yeah, you son of a bee.
You know what I was happy about? When Jon Snow woke his ass up, walked outside, and had him murdered. He who passes the judgment should swing the sword. And Jon Snow stared that 10-year-old in the eyes and kicked the chair out from under him. And that was super satisfying.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that like Jon Snow enjoyed that one. He's like, you son of a... Like, what are you doing to me? You stabbed me, bro.
Guess I'm not saving any more kids.
That's the last time I do that. I can appreciate that. Ollie is, yeah. I'll go fuck Ollie. All right.
Not somebody you'd think about, but he was.
But you're right.
He was like the first person that came to my mind on people that I hated in the show. Like even before the obvious ones.
Who are the obvious ones?
I imagine we'll find out about them as we get higher or lower. Further into our lists.
My number 2 in my top characters. I got Ned Stark.
Okay.
I like Ned a lot, believe it or not.
Ned Stark was too pure for this world.
That he was. I remember I didn't hop on the Game of Thrones bandwagon until like season 4-ish.
I think
was
it was
starting.
after the Red Wedding is when you got into it.
And I asked you like, hey, would I like this? And you're like, yeah, I think so. So you gave me your Vudu password so I could watch the first 2 seasons on Vudu. And I remember watching like through episode 3, and I texted you and was like, so how long is it going to take Ned Stark to become king of this thing? And you were like, you'll just have to watch to find out. And then, oh my God, he never became king.
So I always...
The girls never came.
So I always would just try and get people, I was like, watch episode 1. If you don't want to watch after episode 1, you're not going to like it. Because episode 1, I think, does a pretty good job of drawing new people in.
And if it doesn't work for you...
When it ends with them pushing Bran out of that tower, it's like, oh, incest and child murder back to back? I don't even know. I think we knew it was incest at that point.
See, I remember what, and was like, okay, why is this a big deal? And you're like, they're brother and sister. I was like, oh. And yeah, and it was Jaime Lannister's just kind of like full on like, oh, well, the things we do for love, shoves a child out of a 10-story window.
That was one of the good parts of season 8, was when Bran's just sitting there waiting for Jaime.
It's like, hey.
The things we do for love, right?
Yeah.
Son of a
that's not good. Not good for our town. But Ned Stark he's always honorable. Always.
Yeah.
Honorable.
Even though it almost tore his family apart and caused him to get killed.
See, I was going to put like she might appear. I kind of hate Catelyn Stark because she was wrong and was so insistent that she wasn't wrong that it kind of makes me mad that like, here's Ned Stark being honorable. He's so honorable, he's bringing dishonor upon himself.
Right.
And then there's his stupid wife who's like, you son of a bitch, I hate you. Like, okay, well, that's not cool. If you only knew, Catelyn. If you only knew. So I got Ned Stark. He's I don't even know if he's trying to play the game there in the first season as much as he's just like, something ain't right here. Oh, okay, well, that's good because these little psychopaths, I can make sure they're never king. And he doesn't make sure that. He doesn't make sure of that. But he tried.
This Baratheon, black of hair. This Baratheon, black of hair. Robert Baratheon, black of hair. Joffrey Baratheon, gold of hair.
Tywin Baratheon. So Ned Stark, 2 on my list.
Yeah, that's solid.
And I have a hot takery at number 1.
Okay.
Got a hot takery.
My number 2 was in 7 episodes, which is it's a small amount, but it's honestly more than I thought he was in. Showed up in season 4. Didn't make it out of season 4. It's Oberyn Martell.
I know you've always liked Oberyn Martell.
I
mean, of the people who got the top of their brains blown out by their by their eyeballs getting shoved in, he's top 5.
He is certainly one of them. But I love that character. He was really the first character that came in the middle season, or really after season 1, the first character you're introduced to with fairly pure intentions. He's there to kill somebody who raped and murdered his sister and his sister's children, and
that's all he wants to do.
Yeah,
he's not trying for power, or
he's nice to. Oh dang, he's gonna have to go to honorable mention. Not this guy, but the guy that I just thought of. He probably slots in an honorable mention anyway.
Okay.
He's nice to Tyrion when really nobody else is, and is just nice to him because he's a person. Like he tells the story about like, oh, when you were a kid, your sister was like, oh, come see the demon baby, come see like the monster. And Oberyn's like, me and my sister go in there, and I didn't see a monster. I saw a baby.
Right, I just saw you.
So,
and Tyrion's still like, at that point, like, yeah, well, you suck and I hate you. Okay, all right, you might come around.
So Oberyn goes out there and fights the mountain, and would have killed the mountain if not for his hubris. Had the mountain down to...
You live and learn.
Yeah.
Or no, you die and learn.
And then after that, essentially, the mountain became Zambi Mountain. Became a Zambi.
That he did.
I really enjoy Oberyn Martell, and because of that, I've found myself watching more things that Pedro Pascal is in, which is also a treat.
Like The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and
that movie with Nick Cage.
I haven't actually seen that.
I haven't either. I don't know if it's out yet or not.
Is that the movie where Nick Cage plays Nick Cage?
Yes.
I bet he does phenomenal in that movie.
Probably.
The great action star Nick Cage.
Number 2, some would argue.
But the other one is The Kingsman. I think it's the...
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Golden Circle. I think it's Golden Circle. Might be the third one. But they come to America. I think it's the second Kingsman. It's just the Kingsman Secret Service, and then the Kingsman Golden Circle, and then the Kingsman World War II.
Right. The King's Space Men.
Yeah. With Rasputin.
My number 2 most hated. And I don't know if it's the actor, the writing, or what. And I know I'm supposed to hate him. But I really hate Ramsay Bolton / Ramsay Snow.
Okay.
He's like the Game of Thrones Joker. He doesn't like really have a plan. He doesn't really think anything through. He's kind of a buffoon. But he's a dick, and he finds his way into power.
Okay, so I've got Ramsay Bolton at 2 as well.
And I don't like him.
and he's just raping and murdering everybody.
Because he's bored. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no tactical response. It's just like, it's just to be.
Oh, yes, thank you for this present of Sansa Stark. I will despoil her.
Right, and she's like, everything is thought out.
Well,
and then
and everything for 5 seasons has been her escaping terrible fates, escape terrible fate, unscathed, and then it's just him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her not escaping a terrible fate.
No, that's not what happens at all. And
it's like they were just waiting for Sophie Turner to turn 18 so that they could have
really turn it on to her. Like, oh, okay, this isn't.
I don't think I signed up for this.
If I'd had known that this is where this was going, he's Reed. It just he's there's nothing smart or bright or anything really about him. He's just an asshole.
He's sadistic,
and there's no rhyme or reason to it. Like, I don't get. Like, Tywin Lannister is a bit sadistic and an asshole, but at least it's sort of thought out. Ramsay Bolton is just like, wouldn't it be fun if? You're like, no.
Yeah, I think they just needed, and he's in the books. I haven't read all the books. I read the first 2, but
you don't have 15 extra years of your life just sitting around.
When he releases a new one, I'll get caught up, but I'm not doing it until then.
I'm not investing till you do it.
I've read the other stories, like I've read Duncan and Egg and like the history of the Targaryens and stuff like that, but I just haven't read the main stories.
Gotcha.
Because at least the one-off books are done because they're one-offs.
True.
But I feel like they just needed somebody to occupy people in the north. So they're like, Ramsay Bolton, go. As opposed to like being anything real crazy going on. It's just a crazy person just raping and pillaging.
Yeah. I get that. But I don't like it.
No, I don't like it at all. So that is both of our number 2's most hated.
Yep.
You got some honorable mentions you want to talk about?
I do. I've got 2 in my top honorable mention and 1 in my bottom.
Okay.
Which you want to hear about first?
Let's hear about your tops.
I got the Hound.
Okay.
I love the Hound.
Yep. Because he has some funny quotes.
He does. And he is appropriate at all times.
Yeah.
For the situation. When he's needed to be kind of soft, and he's got Arya. He's not the Hound that you expect.
He's the hero that we needed.
Yeah, that is correct. And then when it's time to boogie, he's down to clown.
He's gonna have to eat every fucking chicken in this room.
Or if any man leaves with no blood on his sword, I'll rape his corpse.
Right.
I'll rape his fucking corpse. Like, oh, okay, he's ready to go. But whatever the situation calls for, the Hound is there, and I don't know that he's ever really he's never really misjudged that. He's never like, oh, I took that a little far, didn't I? Like, right. It's never.
One thing that he got into that didn't make a lot of sense to me was just the fight with Brienne. I feel like they just we need these two to fight. Well, and that kind of like let Arya go off on her own and go see the Faceless Man.
Yeah, but still,
that fight didn't necessarily make sense. Where he's like, "I'm trying to save her," and she's like, "I'm trying to save her."
I'm trying to save her too. Like, well, if we just took a second to talk about this,
if we could go somewhere together,
yeah,
and both save her, she'd be extra saved,
right? And we would be pretty unstoppable,
right? I'm trying to think of the only people who could stop her. Not many.
Not many. Also, potential hot takery.
Okay.
I got Tyrion Lannister in my honorable mention.
For people you like?
Yes.
Hot takery because he's not your number one?
Yes.
Interesting.
I can't just look past like 5 seasons of douchebaggery.
4 seasons of douchebaggery.
Okay. 4.5 seasons of douchebaggery.
And 1 season of stupid writing.
Fair. Fair. Now, does he have the best arc of any character in the series?
No.
Yes.
No through 7 seasons. Yes through 8. Jaime's arc was so much better until the last 2 episodes.
I disagree. Now, I agree they both come a long way.
Right.
Which I appreciate. Which, I like Draco Malfoy is one of my favorite characters in Harry Potter because going from where you start of spoiled brat where you're just going to follow in your family's footsteps to not that, I value. But I can't look past a lot of bad stuff because eventually you come around.
I mean, there's a lot of...
I like the character, but I can't put him number one for me. I don't like him that much.
There's a lot of likable characters in the series.
Yes.
There's a handful of just, like, hated characters.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to like than there are to hate, because even the guys who are quote-unquote bad guys aren't privy to the information that we are, so they don't necessarily know that they're the bad guys.
Correct.
Like,
and I don't know I don't think anybody's
like Samwell Tartley's brother and
Dickon.
and Dickon Tartley.
Dickon Tartley.
And his dad. His dad was a dick.
Yep.
But not necessarily a bad guy. They're just he's the war general.
You're a bad guy. You're not a bad guy.
Right.
I think it's the other way. You're not a bad guy. You're a bad guy.
Right. He's a bad dude, but he's not necessarily
Right. He's not a villain.
Right.
Yeah. Now Samwell maybe, but to the rest of us, no, I don't think so.
He's just it seems pretty common that people in the Game of Thrones universe are disappointed by and hate their children.
Yeah, I don't know if you live in the real world, but some could argue that happens out here too.
Yeah, there's just a lot easier ways to get rid of them in the Game of Thrones world, apparently.
That's true.
Hey, either you're going to wake up dead one day or you're going to join the Night's Watch. Your choice.
You pick. I guess I'm going to don the black. So those are my honorable mention.
Don the Black sounds like he could be a character in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it does. Do you want to be Don the Black?
Sure.
Okay.
Just a pasty white dude. Don the Black. What's up?
I get horrible rashes when I'm in the sun too long. Don the Black. Yeah, who's in your honorable mention list there at the tops?
So my honorable mention could be a hot take. I didn't have an honorable mention before this because I just wasn't going to be. Essentially, I was going to wait till you said them, and then I was just going to pick people that you didn't pick because I like a lot of characters.
Yeah.
But the one that I thought of was Bronn. I really like Bronn. I don't know what
Jamie Lannister's.
Tyrion Lannister's bodyguard and kicked the dude through the moon door. That was essentially our introduction to him.
Yeah.
He just walked out there in leather clothing and beat a fully armored dude and kicked him through the moon door.
Yeah, he did.
He's like, all right, so me and Tyrion are leaving. He became the Master of Coin at the end of the season.
Yeah.
The only one that I'm not like, I hate this. But even then, that's a stupid fucking decision. Why do you have that dude being your Master of Coin?
It's a great question.
But
I forgot about Bronn.
He's very like the Hound is appropriate for every situation he's in.
Yeah,
it's like
brings a lot of levity.
Another person I like, Podrick, Pod the Rod.
Yeah,
him and Tyrion are like, let's get Podrick laid, and they just throw money at him, and then he comes back and he's like, here's your money back.
And they're like, what?
You're supposed to pay them. They gave it back. They thoroughly enjoyed themselves.
Okay, all right. Well, look at that.
But kind of no matter what Bronn is doing, he's always out for his best interest.
Yes, and doesn't hide it.
No.
He's like, I'm looking out for number one.
He's like, I'll stick around with you, Tyrion, until literally anybody offers to pay me more.
So keep that in mind.
And he doesn't ever betray anybody that's paying him.
There's some that's admirable. Whoever's paying me, they've got my loyalty.
If you've got a code and you stick to the code, that's honorable in Game of Thrones, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So I would say Bronn and Pod the Rod are honorable mentions.
Tops.
Yep.
What about bottoms?
You go first. Like I said, I didn't have an honorable mention.
I don't
think we usually do honorable mentions on top three, bottom threes.
No, we don't. But there's enough.
There's a lot of people to talk about.
There's enough going on here. Just to be blunt,
Buddy in season 8.
I hate Robin Aaron.
Yeah,
like, I want Robin Aaron to go. I want to watch him fly so badly. Every time he's on screen, I'm like, somebody kill this kid, please, for the love of God. Murder murder that kid because I couldn't hate him more. And it's probably not his fault. It's a little his fault. I want him to die.
It's mostly his mom's fault.
It is.
She's still got him on the tee to. He's
14.
He's got his molars in. He's got his wisdom teeth are in.
He's had his wisdom teeth extracted.
Doesn't even have any baby teeth.
Still on the teat. I want him to die so bad, and it's the most frustrating part of the series. The one person that I want to watch you die.
Does he not die?
No, he's at the council picking Bran the Builder.
Gross.
At the end of the fucking series, die, Robin Aaron, die. I hate him so much. So he's honorable mention. I got one person more. I hate more than that.
I would say I had an honorable mention until you went on that wild rant.
I'm sorry. I just hate him so much.
Oh, Littlefinger.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the character, and I like the character and what was done with him. But watching him die was amazing.
Yeah, felt good. Because he's kind of the Professor Snape of the Lord of, like,
except for without the twist at the end.
Well, it's just like, okay, sometimes you're good, sometimes you're bad. I don't know what you're doing here, but it's all bad eventually.
Yeah.
And you're just being stupid. And then, yep. Yep, that's it.
He's like, oh, I'm on this side. But, I mean, really, he was on his own side and just kind of.
He's the opposite of Bronn.
Yeah.
Like, Bronn's always looking out for number one, but it's like, I'm going to be pretty transparent about it. And Peter Baelish is like, I can play everybody.
Right. And he good for a long time.
While. And then Sansa Stark was like,
Arya was like, yeah.
So.
He traded the wrong person to the wrong person.
Yeah, he did. So, before we hit number ones, we hear from one of our illustrious sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sponsor break, or do we? Yeah, we do sponsor breaks now.
Yeah, we'll keep it like we've been doing it until I figure something out. So you either will or won't hear a sponsor here, but I think you will.
Man, how about that sponsor you did or did not hear?
It certainly was or was not abortion pills.
It was or was not. Could not be more true. So, we've done our honorable mentions. Got top and bottom. Number one, most hated, most liked characters, Game of Thrones.
Number one, unhated first. Most liked character.
I got a Lena Tyrell. I like a Lena Tyrell a lot.
The old lady?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Lena Tyrell doesn't fuck around. She didn't come to play school. She came to kill people and get power. And she doesn't, like, people think she's joking because she's a little old lady.
Right.
She ain't. She's not messing around. And I think my favorite moment in the series is, like, when she's dying and tells Jaime Lannister, I want you to go tell Cersei that it was me.
Right.
I want you to go back and tell her it was me. Like, oh, we got a bad bitch.
I'm also pretty sure they cut away at that point. I'm pretty sure that Jaime did not let her die slowly from poisoning after that.
Right.
I'm guessing that he chopped her up, starting at her fingers and toes.
Yeah, and took his time.
Yeah.
And I think she knew that was going to happen. And was still like.
That poison started a timer that Jaime couldn't stop. So.
But you know what he could stop? Is your life. Da, da, da.
But she's at that point, she's like, I've got 5 minutes tops to live. So whether.
Right. You better get a move on if you're going to do what you want to do.
But no, that was sick.
And she's similar to Tywin Lannister in that, like, she's pulling the strings for an entire family, and
her versus Tywin would have been a very witty battle.
Yeah. But she's a little, I wouldn't say more ambitious than Tywin Lannister. She's just, I think they're coming from two different places where they're more of a kind of an underdog family than the Lannisters are. and she wants to get to that level, and she's going to do whatever it takes.
Right.
And if that includes killing kings, she going to get it done.
She going to get it.
And she got it done. So I think she's fantastic. And I love her.
So mine, this is the first one on my liked list who's showed up in really any kind of amount of episodes.
Yeah.
The first two were like 7 and 9 episodes.
Bronson.
Well, he was honorable mention. But
oh, okay, that's right.
So this, season 3 makes his first appearance, and he's pretty in it from there on. 33 episodes. It's a solid run. That's a solid run when people are dropping left and right.
Yeah, when they will kill anyone at any time just to move this story along. Take some notes. The Walking Dead, The Handmaid's Tale, virtually any series that anybody likes now. Like, have you watched this? Yellowstone? No, because nothing happens.
Ted Lasso.
Ever. Okay, we'll stop.
Let's start killing off Nate the Great. Let's get him out of there.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. Shut up, Thierry Henry. Okay. Number 1.
You want to guess who it is?
This comes in at season 3, 33 episodes. Do they come to their demise in the series?
No.
Is it Samwell Tartley?
It is not. Samwell was season 1. Like, he was fresh at the wall with Jon.
I guess that's right.
Because then, like, Jon goes out to pray to the old gods, and Sam's like, might as well come with you. The new ones don't do shit for me.
I was surprised. Sidebar, Mance Rayder was in like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Mance Raiders. I was like, oh, I thought that was a little more than that.
Speaking of Mance Rayder, Tormund
I was going to say
Giantsbane.
Tormund Giantsbane is, yeah, that's
Probably my most liked character.
You can't not.
Very blunt. He's a badass.
This might not be an acceptable question. Does he have autism? Like, does he have Game of Thrones autism? He's hyperfixated on things, not real socially aware of situations.
You're aware that he like grew up north of a wall where he was just like constantly fighting for his life from the time he was like a child, essentially, right? Probably not a lot of social skills.
But still.
Ygritte didn't have a lot of social skills either, other than
using her mouth.
Right.
Hey-o.
That thing you did. With your mouth. That was Jon's mouth. He didn't know nothing, apparently. He knew something.
Yeah, apparently he knew something. Because he was good. I mean, they married in real life, for God's sake.
With your mouth.
All right.
But he's just...
He's so fun.
Yeah. And he's
at all times.
And he's a badass.
A little bit.
And he's trying to bang out.
He wants to climb the big lady. It's the big lady.
But I was trying to think of what he is to Jon. He is Jon's... I don't know if he's not his arrow or whatever. Like, he's something. Jon's an idiot. And I think Tormund, like, keeps him on track and maybe kind of from making super bad decisions.
Right. Like, well, did you think about this?
Right, like, kind of tactically or, like...
Because Jon didn't have that experience.
I think he keeps him from overthinking things.
Yeah.
And is more direct and is what Jon needs in the series to not just kind of do nothing.
Right. Jon's got some, like, tactical anxiety. And Tormund's like, why don't we just go out there and kill people?
Right.
Okay.
Jon's like, well, okay, so we need to, like, flank them, and we need to, like...
No, we're not going to do that.
Hear me out. Whatever you don't do, don't run directly into the open field.
And just get surrounded.
Right. Your brother's as good as dead already. You might as well.
Right.
That's his fault for not zigzagging.
Poor Rickon. You got to run. You got to zigzag, you idiot. You ran in a straight line.
So yeah, I got Tormund my most liked character.
That makes a lot of sense. What about Bottom?
What about Bottom? We haven't said the same person yet.
No, we haven't. Are we about to?
I I don't think so because
Probably
you
not.
said hot take.
I felt like you were going to say Tyrion Lannister was your number one, and I was going to be stupid for not. So I thought Lena Mormont.
So is this the hot take when I asked you if Jon Snow was on your bottom list? And
I don't have Jon Snow on my list at all.
Okay. Neither do I.
Okay. I don't think we're on the same page here.
What was this person's highest position of power on your list?
I don't officially know.
Oh, okay. Then I do know my person's highest position of power,
Okay.
so it's not the same person.
Okay.
So
I got Jorah Mormont.
okay.
Like, talk about simping. Jesus Christ.
Right.
You spend the entire series chasing after tail that no matter what,
A 13 or 14-year-old girl, essentially.
that you are never going to get. No matter what,
right.
you're never going to get it. And you never come to the realization that you're never going to get it.
Right.
Jesus.
She forgets you're alive until you die right in front of her.
God, what are you doing? Even when you're like, she's like, get out of my sight, I never want to see you again. You're still like, there's a chance I'm going to hit that.
I'm going to go get cured of grayscale and come back and help her.
And she's going to love me. No, she's not. No, she's not. What are you doing?
Right.
You idiot. The entire series. And like, you're in your 40s.
He got kicked out because he was like selling people into slavery, right?
Yeah. Which the breaker of chains is not about. And yet you're still like, I can get her to love me. No, you can't. You piece of...
He's like 45 and she's like 15 or 16 in the things.
Right.
And
but he's still like...
And he has nothing to his name. Nothing.
You're a nobody.
For as untactful as Dany is the entire series, he has nothing that he can offer her.
Correct.
That she, isn't already getting for free.
And even if she was looking for just hot dickings, it ain't going to be from Sir Jorah Mormont.
No, it's going to be from her brother. Or her nephew.
Or whoever she's looking for. She's looking to get plowed.
John was her nephew, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's who it's coming from.
Oh, I guess everybody's a half nephew.
Right.
Everybody's a half
Well,
nephew.
not everybody in Game of Thrones.
That's true. That's true. Yes, John is her nephew. He's Ricky Martin in it. I don't know if you saw that yesterday. Ricky Martin is arrested and
for
is
incest,
facing 50 years in prison for bumping uglies with his 21-year-old nephew. He bangs. That's terrible.
So you're number one.
Sir Jorah Mormont.
Sir Jorah Mormont.
Get out of here, you idiot.
Solid choice.
Just dumb.
My number one
is Lord Varys.
No.
Okay.
I thought about putting him on a liked list. I think he's very neutral.
I thought about Davos as well. Honorable mention liked. I like right. Honorable mention liked Sir Davos. Seaworth.
So here's the thing.
Okay, I feel like this is an explanation that I'm not gonna like.
This person is somebody's full nephew.
Okay.
It's Jaime Lannister's full nephew, King Joffrey Baratheon.
Okay. I thought you started there, and I was
we were talking about half nephews. It's like technically,
everybody's a half nephew. You were like, well, not
technically, Joffrey is
Jaime Lannister's son and full nephew,
and Cersei Lannister's son and full nephew.
Yeah, that's true. I thought you started there, and I was like, is Don about to say Ned Stark? Am I about to come across this table and slap Don?
No,
yeah, Joffrey. Yeah,
so. Amazing character, amazing acting to make everybody hate that character.
Yeah, which I what's that kid's name? I know it.
It is Jack Gleason.
Yeah, Jack. I bet walking down the street is Jack Gleason from like 2012 to 2015 sucked.
Yeah, well, he retired from acting because of the hate that he got for that role.
Well. You were
like
too good. You were too good, bro.
Played Anakin Skywalker in Phantom Menace.
Yeah, he wasn't too good.
but
Jack Gleason was too good.
Everybody hated him. Everybody was so happy to see him dead. And when he dies, you're like, we killed the monster. We got rid of him. And then like Ramsay Bolton comes in and he's like, "You thought Joffrey was bad."
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. And Ramsay Bolton was my number one most hated until, like, I was sitting here, we were going through it, and I'm like, Joffrey is so much more hateable as a character than Ramsay Bolton. Ramsay Bolton's just, like, vile, and, like, but there's something about Joffrey. He kills, he kills your boy.
Well, you know that he
wasn't supposed to kill him. He just, like... Up until the time he died, Joffrey had never had he got slapped one time, and that was the only consequence. Right. Are these the consequences of my actions coming back to haunt me? He killed the redheaded prostitute by, like, tying her to a bed and shooting her with a bunch of arrows.
Yeah, just because
he was just super weird.
Just because he was bored.
He had that big like end of the bed that he was gonna dildo that girl with.
Yeah,
and he's wild.
And she's like,
he's wild. And
please don't.
Watching live reactions on Twitter during like some of the episodes when Joffrey was there was insane.
See, and that's I guess I should have thought more about it that way, because like Ramsay Bolton is similar in that, or I guess the opposite of Joffrey Baratheon, because he doesn't grow up with the power. He doesn't grow up with getting to do kind of whatever the hell he wants, and it has to be okay. So it's not as sadistic as Joffrey Baratheon. Like, Joffrey Baratheon's a psycho.
Right.
From the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good take from you. Joffrey Baratheon's my number one.
He gets lady killed.
I just hate Sir Jorah Mormont because he's just clueless for 7 seasons of like, I'm still going to get that. Like, no, you're not. Are you stupid? You're not going to get it. He's like, I'm going to get it.
So Joffrey died in
season
4.
I was going to say season 4, episode 9? 8? Which, talk about a death, man. That's a fantastic death.
Yeah. And everybody wanted it.
And when it happened, he looked like the United States just scored a goal in the World Cup. Yeah! Yeah! Everybody's jumping up and down.
That kind of set everything really in motion for
the rest
a lot of stuff to happen.
Yeah. And you know who started that? Oh, Lena Tyrell, baby. She's like, he's got to go.
Yep. At no point in Joffrey's control of all 7 kingdoms. At no point did Joffrey control all of the 7 kingdoms. They only controlled the Westerlands, the Crown Lands, and a narrow strip of the Riverlands. Because they essentially, when he became king, they were just
everybody
civil war everywhere.
Yeah.
Think of the people. So just from our lists,
mm-hmm.
Who was he responsible for killing? He killed Ned Stark.
Yes.
He killed
is
that it? I was thinking that he killed Oberyn Martell.
Yeah,
he was responsible for that.
Oberyn Martell was responsible for that.
It's true.
Yeah, Ned Stark.
I guess that might be it.
I
was gonna say the your lady Tyrell, but
Lena Tyrell, but no,
she got her stuff. She got her comeuppance from something else. She didn't kill any of the people.
I was going to say Renly Baratheon, but no.
That was Stannis.
I was going to say Stannis Baratheon kills.
Red Witch sucked too.
Yeah.
She was a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah. But in similar vein to virtually every other female character, you're like, I'd like to see her naked. And then you wait about 25 seconds and there it is.
Right.
Thank you, Marjorie Tyrell. Natalie Dormer could get it if she wanted it. She's got that smile.
Yeah.
Just a little.
She's got fuck me eyes.
Absolutely. 100%. Begging for it. With her eyes.
So that's our number one.
Yeah.
Most hated.
Most hated.
Most liked.
So who's your number one neutral? Who's your number one nothing?
Daenerys Targaryen. Like by the end of it, like without season 8, her and Jon are much more likable, and so's Sansa. I never really liked.
I didn't either. I never really liked.
She's
Arya.
Probably closer to hated than liked. Arya bounced between, but Arya's probably pretty neutral. The Blackfish. He's in like 5 episodes. Catelyn Stark.
How you feel about
towards hate than
Tommen Baratheon? I lean like.
I like Tommen.
I like Tommen. He created the greatest gif of all time.
Greatest gif of all time.
I know that I wasn't supposed to laugh in that episode, but oh my God, is it fantastic. He's just like, whoop, gotta go. Boom. That's it. Just out the window. No flailing, no nothing. He just takes the crown off, walks away. Boom.
He left Sir Pounce to fend for himself.
Just so fantastic. He's just like, well, here we go. It's the greatest game of all time. It's so fantastic. But I actually liked the kid because he was trying.
What do you think about Jaime?
I lean towards hate.
Yeah.
Because they try to, and I think this is what pisses me off about like season 7 and 8 is they try to make you think that like, oh, Jaime Lannister now goes, oh, you know what? Like he's looking around going, wait, are we the bad guys?
Right.
We've been the bad guys the whole time? Well, let's fix that. And then in the end, he's like, no, we're still the bad guys. And Daenerys Targaryen is like, she's going to be different from everybody else in her family. No, she's not. She's psycho too.
She's psycho in 2 episodes out of nowhere.
Right. But it's still part of the show.
And it's bullshit.
I don't disagree, but that's how it ends.
It's fine that happened. But she just went from
like, I'm going to free you all to, you're going to die, motherfuckers. You're going to die by fire.
So much of that season, they're just like, oh, we're going to kill this dragon with a ballista bolt from this fleet of ships that nobody ever saw, but it's clearly right here. We were hiding behind this rock. Yeah. And we saw, loaded, shot, and hit your dragon with an arrow before you even knew we were there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I will say this, like the first 2 episodes of Game of Thrones season 8 premiered, and I was like, I'm so excited. Like it's happening. This is cool.
Right.
Stuff's coming to
an end. I know it's coming to an end.
My coworker that I always traveled with at my last job was like, this fucking sucks. I'm like, no, it doesn't. This is amazing. Everything is so cool. And then like
then they start pointing stuff
the
out.
Night King fight happened and everything was so dark that you couldn't see it. and
That's true though.
And then I'm like, that wasn't great, but like I get it. It's like it's expensive to have fights like this, and yeah. And then everything else started happening, and then I never admitted to my coworker that it was awful.
This is terrible.
He was correct. Like we got in an argument we got into an argument about whether or not it was bad. Like. Bordering on a shouting match.
I was going to say that you were getting into "f you, no, f you,"
right? And yeah, he was correct. So
I hope he's not listening.
I don't think he listens, but if he does for some reason, you were right, Chad.
It's just so bad. It just gets so bad at the end.
Yeah.
How the hell do you end up with Bran? Bran.
Right. Why did Grey Worm just go and arrest Jon? He'd been murdering everybody, and he's just like, we've arrested him for your judgment.
Right. No, that seems kind of fight
We're
to the death.
We're going to Narth, and we expect you to have Jon Snow sent Narth as well. North of the Wall.
North of the Wall,
and not bring him and not immediately bring him back to be king as soon as we leave, because we won't know. And if we find out, we'll come back here with our 50, but also unlimited amount of cockless soldiers. We'll be back.
So who should have been king at the end?
Jon should have been king.
Right,
That's the only thing
it's Jon. It's Jon Snow.
You know what you do?
Like
all the armies.
I don't want it. I don't really care what you want, Jon. This is what you got to do.
All the armies are there. Grey Worm's there, and he's like, he's your prisoner. He's our king. You guys are dead.
Right. Like it's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah.
You're not allowed to go behind a hill because right now there's 50 of you, and I'm pretty sure that's all of you. But if you crest a hill, I'm pretty sure there's going to be 2,000 of you. Somehow you still have Dothraki left.
Somehow.
But we've contracted with the Golden Army or whoever they are. They're coming over here with some people.
They're ready. They're down to clown.
We got elephants.
Jon Snow should have been a king.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want it, but sometimes you don't always get what you want, Jon. Like, you have to do what you have to do, and this is what you've been called to do, both from both sides of your family tree.
Yeah. Guess who? Oh. I'm going to find out what's west of Westeros. Ask Bran. He knows. He can send a bird over there and tell you exactly what's west of Westeros.
Dude's going to send up a drone, give him about 25 minutes. He's got you covered. Yeah. But they tried too hard. That's what everybody expects.
Samwell Tartley be king for all the.
That's what everybody expects. Like, well, but that's what makes the most sense.
We inverted your expectations. Unpause that. Unplay that. Did you see the trailer for the new Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
People were.
I'm in right now.
Are you? I haven't seen the trailer yet.
I'm in.
But people were like, I don't understand why there's so many black people in this show because they're all like Targaryens. It's like they're all white of hair and white of skin,
white of eyes.
But I guess that it's
2022.
Maybe? No, but I guess that it is there are source materials that have them in it, but people were. It's like this is what happens when you don't respect the source material and you're just like, we're tired. I think one of the directors is like, we're tired of seeing all these white people on the screen. It's like, but that's half of their identity of being a Targaryen, right. I think. But no, I haven't seen the trailer yet. Have you seen? There's 6 Game of Thrones things. In pre-production or something like that?
No.
So I heard that Dunk and Egg is one of them. And if only one of them makes it out, that's probably the only one that I would look forward to watching is Dunk and Egg. But there's one that I saw that George R.R. Martin was supposed to be on board with, and it was a Jon Snow series after the series ended.
Oh, I can get on board with that.
But is it just the dragon hunting him down at that point?
Probably.
I don't know.
It's 6 episodes, 21 minutes apiece. Just it turns into Lord of the Rings where he's just running around.
If anything, I'm glad that it ruined D&D's career that final season.
They earned that.
Because they were like, we have Netflix deals and
do Star Wars
deals. And afterwards, Netflix was like, nope. And Star Wars was like, nope.
I don't think so. So good. I'm glad their careers are over.
Kevin Spacey got a movie before they did.
Yeah, he did. And that didn't go well either. So those are our lists. Let us know what you think at Rank 'em Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Don is on Twitter.
At Donnie_G.
I am on Twitter at Garrett Seawright. And you can give us a 5-star review, subscribe, tell your friends. However you can help us out, we certainly appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time.
Hey, by the time this releases, we might have a website up.
We might.
It's the rankompodcast.com, but if it takes you nowhere, then it's not up yet.
Life lessons from
But
Don.
if it takes you to the website, then it is. Bye.